My long-distance GF of 2 years asked me to delete all of her nudes. Over the 2 years there were loads and she's always trusted me and especially with her nudes, but today she suddenly asked me to delete all of her nudes. I said yes of course because I'm not a dick and I deleted all of them. I asked her why and she said just delete them and is just ignoring me when I ask why. I also had Polaroids of her which she said she would get me to destroy in the future. I have absolutely no problem with her wanting me to delete her nudes. They're hers, and hers to do what she likes with, which is of course why I deleted them immediately. I'm just really bugged out at the spontaneity and why this has happened. I know I shouldn't, but I feel really sad about letting them all go as I loved them all and they had memories and everything, and I really want to tell her, but I don't want it to be like guilt tripping her or anything, especially when I probably shouldn't feel this way. I don't know, what do you think? Maybe she doesn't trust me anymore? Nothing should have really influenced her decision, as in a big event or anything. And we're long distance. She also said she liked taking them and sending them to me. Also, when she broke up with her previous BFS or other people she sent to in general, I know they kept her nudes. So it all just seems a bit weird and wanted to know what everyone on here thinks. If you're both underage, it's possible that she learned that she could be charged with creation of child pornography for having sent you those photos, and you for possession, and she doesn't want to freak you out. She may also have read about revenge porn, or about the possibility of photos getting out of the hands of their original recipients, and is just trying to protect herself. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's planning on breaking up with you or anything like that, so don't worry yourself too much. There are a lot of reasons this could be happening, and you'll find out when she's ready to talk about it. So, I looked at your post history. Bro, are you really 16? You shouldn't be doing all those drugs, man. It may be your relationship, or it may be that she just realized digital is insecure and forever. Which is why sending nudes is not a great idea, regardless of how much you trust the recipient. She wants to run for public office. I, 22F, just found out that my friend, 24F, is in love with me, and that's why she tried to get me to break up with my husband, 29M. We have been friends since we were both kids, and all this time I, 22F, never knew that she, 24F, is a lesbian or bi or whatever she is. I only know that she had 2 boyfriends, but she's been single for 5 or 6 years now. She was always very affectionate with me, but I thought it was normal. I thought that was the way friends act. I don't know. The point is that a few months ago she started telling me a lot of things to make me feel insecure about my husband, 29M. She would tell me things like I should check his phone because he was acting weird, and when I asked her what did she mean, she said that she was worried because he spent so many hours working and that we hardly see each other. I explained to her that he's a doctor and that right now he's working even more than ever because of COVID, but then she started saying that if he spends so many hours at work maybe he will meet someone else, as if he had time to meet someone else while taking care of more than 14 patients per day. When that attempt failed, she began to say that he had sent messages to one of her sisters, 19F. She's not my friend, but she came to my house a few times so she knows my husband. When I told her that I wanted to see those messages before talking to him, she sent me a lot of screenshots. All were edited, by the way, but she told me not to say any of that to her sister. I talked to my husband about it and he denied everything. He even gave me his phone to check it and I didn't find anything. I trust him with my whole life, so I believed him. But not only because I love him, but because the screenshots looked really fake. So I talked to my friend's sister even though she told me not to do it, and she told me that my husband never sent her any message and that surely her sister was trying to play a joke on me. At this point I was so confused that I didn't even know why she was doing that, so I tried to talk to her and she told me that her sister and my husband were lying and that I should open my eyes and see the truth. And I was so sensitive for everything that had happened in the last days that I started to cry, and she hugged me and tried to kiss me, so I pushed her away and asked her what was wrong with her, and she told me again that I should see truth, that she loved me since we were teenagers and that my husband doesn't love me. I asked her if she invented all that and she said yes, that she did that because she loves me and knows that my husband doesn't deserve me. After that I kicked her out of my apartment and haven't spoken to her since then. It's been 4 days, and I don't want to talk to her, but I feel so bad. She is one of the few true friends I have, and I never thought she would do something like that. What can I do in this case? By the way, sorry if my grammar is wrong. English is not my first language and I am really nervous as I type this. She is not your friend, let alone a true friends, because a true friends wouldn't try to break up their friend's relationship. She is a trash person, and never speak to this loser of a pick-me again. WTF. Even if your marriage broke up, you're not bi. So your so-called friend has a major flaw in her plans. Stay away from her, no good can ever from talking to her. But hop will see how I've been there for her through all these hard times I created. How I've always been there, watching, waiting, manipulating. I'm the only one that knows all her deepest fears, and given her a few myself. Surely once she sees everything I did for her, she'll have to love me. S// S. I never remember which way to put it. She's not your friend. She's not a true friend. She committed fraud in an attempt to destroy your marriage. You should never speak to her again. She's psychotic, self-centered and dangerous. She doesn't actually care about you or what you want at all. Speaking to her ever again would be a massive mistake. Yeah dude, I've been in love with married people and not gone after them, because I'm not a selfish asshole. Or at least not this much of one. Manipulation is not love. This is not acceptable behavior. I myself am queer and have a ton of queer friends, and the queer community does not encourage this. This is straight up manipulative, and you need to treat it the same way you would treat it if a guy friend did this to you, or if she was trying to steal your husband from you. Being a lesbian or saying that she was your friend doesn't change it at all. At the end of the day, it's still manipulation, and she still tried to ruin your fucking marriage. This is borderline sociopathic. Cut this person off entirely. Edit. Thanks for the gold y'all. Shout out to my trans fam. Love y'all. Sparkling heart, blue heart, sparkling heart. You need to look at her exactly the same way that you would if she was doing all of this with the intention of stealing your husband from you, or as if she were a man. How do I, 27M, gently ask my ex-girlfriend, 28F, and her dad, M, to leave? January 2019, her dad came to live with us following a death in the family. He didn't have anywhere else to go. Evidently, he burned some serious bridges back in the day with their relatives. Pandemic hit. December 2020, her and I broke up. For the sake of upcoming birthdays and death days and being a nice guy, pushover, I told her that they would seriously need to start looking by mid-February for a new place. Since about mid-January, I've been extremely depressed, suicidal, and resentful. It sucks living with an ex and her dad. It feels like my soul is being torn out of my chest every time I look at her. It's worse than hell. I understand why no contact exists. Not only do I have to cope with the breakup, but also that I have to see her every damn day. I'm willing to give them until March 1st, but holy hell, am I exhausted mentally, physically, and emotionally. Advice appreciated, even if it's harsh. Too long didn't read. Ex and her dad still live with me. Feeling depressed 24/7. How to ask them to leave ASAP, but nicely. Tell them to get out. Period. You don't owe them anything. Nice of you to let them stay this long, but they knew they needed to look for a new place and haven't. Pack your shit and go! Exclamation mark. You're almost there. Make sure they both understand that the deadline is set in stone. You are not budging, and they need to finalize their plans to ensure they meet deadline. Are they packing? Have they scheduled movers? Do you need family members or friends to come and stay with you to support you? Do you have someone you can use as your enforcer? Call that person in. You have been nice. You've gone above and beyond with the niceness already. Sometimes people don't know how badly you're feeling until you tell them. And sometimes people take advantage of nice people. You need to stand up for yourself. Say in December I told you that you would need to look for a place starting in mid-February. February is here. It's time for you two to move out. Stand your ground. If you think they'll argue and beg for more time, and if you don't think you can say no, consider asking a friend to come over to support you during this conversation. 2-on-1 is hard sometimes. Edit. Also, please don't kill yourself. Things can get better. If you don't have it in you to straight up tell them to leave, you could always start looking for a new apartment, end your lease and just leave them there to fend for themselves. Sorry you're going through a hard time, dude. Best of luck. Yeah, neither of them are on the lease unfortunately. Pensive face, thanks. Why do you have to be nice? What do you owe them? Fuck that. Tell them to get the fuck out and say it plainly and clearly. They don't seem the type to take hints.